going on, everyone? Happy Wednesday. I hope you guys have all been having an amazing day, but I wanted to go ahead and provide you guys with a little stock market update and give you guys my thoughts on how the Nasdaq traded today, right? And how it's trading bigger picture on a bigger time frame, right? But as you guys can see, it was an overall green day on the account, so I am super blessed for that. But as far as how my brother did do day trading today, right? He was up $47 on TQs and $14 on SQs, so he actually wasn't able to post a recap for you guys, so that's why I'm filling in today. And I'm just going to go ahead and break down my thoughts, right, on where the Nasdaq's trading at in general. But, as you guys can see, right, today the Nasdaq was trading pretty sideways. Right, during the pre-market session, it was, trading between top and bottom VWAP. And those were pretty much the support and resistance levels that it was validating even during market open, right? As you guys can see, right at market open, this thing ended up, bouncing where it did at pre-market, ended up finding a resistance at top VWAP, and it was just pretty much trading sideways until it finally started to break out, right around 8:30, 8:40 a.m., right? So about, 2 hours after market open, it started to finally push up and form these higher lows and higher highs, and it just continued to climb, right? And so where do I think the market's at in general, right? On a bigger picture, I really wanted to make you guys aware of this because we are at a really critical point as far as the Nasdaq is trading, right? And so the reason why I think it's such a critical point is we've obviously been having a really nice bullish run since January 6th, right? We've been forming these higher highs and higher lows. And so as you guys can see, right, we have been consistently uptrending, but I do want to make you guys aware that we have been getting rejected around these areas, right? Anytime the Nasdaq has approached these general areas, we have been seeing some form of resistance, right? We got rejected around here, right? Here, right? We ended up pushing back up, got rejected and peaking out here, right? And then, ended up selling off, right? Breaking below the EMA and selling off. And so a few times, right? Multiple times within the past, it hasn't even been 20 days, right? So this really started this resistance since about February 2nd, right? We've been seeing this. So it's a very, very recent resistance level, right? And it's been very strong. And because of that, I did want to make you guys aware in case you guys are holding swing trades, right? It wouldn't be the dumbest idea to want to lock in profits or lock in or at least reduce position size around these levels, right? I'm not saying that this thing has to get rejected around here, right? I obviously always, try to preach that I am never going to be the one to try to predict where the top of anything is, right? It doesn't make any sense. This thing is obviously, right, uptrending, super bullish, right? And I'm not going to be the one to try to predict where the top is, right? I just want to make you guys aware of where I think there are potential areas that it can potentially shift direction, right? And so, we are at a critical point where I think this thing can actually get rejected, break below the EMA, right? And continue to sell off, actually, right? Or we're at an area where we're going to potentially break above these two, resistance points, right? These next few days, hopefully we'll see what happens. And then once it does break these resistance levels, it can continue to climb, quite a bit more. So, we obviously don't know exactly where the top is, but as I mentioned, I just wanted to prepare you guys because if this thing were to get rejected and pull on back, you best believe that all of the tech related stocks will go down with it, right? Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, all these big stocks, tech stocks, right, will end up pulling on back with the Nasdaq. And so I just wanted to go ahead and make this quick video to prepare you guys for that. But if it makes it easier to see, the past 20 days, right, we've seen clear indicators of rejection levels right around these areas, right? Lots of resistance. So it's gonna have to bulls are gonna have to fight through a lot in order to be able to actually break above, right? So I just did want to make you guys aware of that. But as far as how everything's doing in general, you guys can see that Roblox was my biggest winner for the day, and the reason for that is they actually reported earnings today, right? So you guys can see that just yesterday at market close, Roblox was trading at around $35.70 a share. Today pushed up to over $45 a share, right? So that's absolutely insane news for it, right? As far as why it actually pushed up, you guys can see that Roblox, right? It had Q4 bookings increase 17%, right? While average daily active users increased by 19% from a year ago, and hours engaged also rose, right? So that's really good news. I don't know if you guys follow Roblox or invested in it, but I am happy to see that this thing did finally push on up. But as far as where I think the market is at, oh, let me go ahead and move myself right to the side. But as far as, as I mentioned, where I think market can go on the bigger time frame, right? We obviously still have been making these higher highs and higher lows, right? This is just, the NASDAQ on the past, on the largest time frame possible to see it on this platform. But as you guys can see, right, we did find a support and finally broke above the EMA, as I mentioned. Now, I do think we can continue to climb, right, or experience some form of pullback around these areas where we'll pull on back. And my hope, right, my hope is that we are able to find a support anywhere around these areas, because if we end up breaking below the support level, the NASDAQ can continue to drop, right? It can continue to drop, and we don't know exactly where the bottom is going to be, right? But if this thing were to pull on back and finally start to use the EMA as a support, or anywhere around here as a support level, then that would be best case scenario, right, for us, because this thing can continue to climb and it can take a lot of the top tech stocks along with it, right? So that's really good news. Overall, we just have to follow up with it and see what happens. But, I do want to make you guys aware of, as far as any important reports that are coming out this week, tomorrow, right? There are a bunch of reports coming out an hour before market open, right? So 8:30 a.m. Eastern time or 5:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to see the PPI reports, right? Housing starts and building permit reports, all of these, right? So why exactly should we care about them? Well, if you guys recall, right, yesterday the CPI data report came out, and it came out at 0.1% lower than, than the previous report. And so although it is good that inflation is going down, it's not going down as quick as it was actually expected to, right? And because of that, right, I'm just worried about what these reports are going to come out, right? Because if these reports come out high, right, if inflation for PPI, right, and PPI, as you guys know, is the producer price index, right? And if inflation is going up for the producers, right, on the manufacturing side, then that's probably going to end up trickling down to the consumer side, right? As far as goods and pricing and inflation in general, right? That doesn't mean it has to, but it could be a good indicator. So I'm just keeping an eye out for those, right? And really just the overall reports in general, because if we're seeing that the reports are coming out that the market's doing really, really good, but inflation isn't going down, right? And actually in the next CPI report, we end up seeing inflation go up, then that could all, be just the proper, recipe for a disaster in a way, right? And I'm not saying that to scare you guys. I'm just saying that, that if an economy is doing good and we see inflation is not dropping, right, then it can just encourage the Federal Reserve to be even more aggressive with their interest rate hikes, right? But that is pretty much everything I wanted to talk about today. I really do appreciate your guys' time, right? And my brother will be posting a recap tomorrow as far as his trading goes, right? But if you guys have any questions at all, go ahead and drop a comment and I will be more than happy to answer that. But if you guys found this informative at all, drop a like for us. It really helps us out. But other than that, you guys all enjoy the rest of your night, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care.